This is the triple Qs on the 5-minute time frame. Here are your price targets for Tuesday. We ended the day at $473.24, down 0.44%. To the north side takes us back to the middle of the trend and the baseline and resistance and a potential take profit area at 477.31. Above that at 2 standard deviations and another level of resistance, 485.20. 489.22 and roughly 493.14. To the south side, VWAP in blue is roughly at 472.13. Below that at -2 standard deviations and another level of support and another potential buy-in area, 469.36, 465.50, and 461.61. Looking left, you can see there was a buy-in at this support line at -3 standard deviations, blue past the middle of the trend, grinding our way up and not quite making it to this line, falling back down to support here, and then now we are going sideways. But if we are down here, this turns into resistance up there. And this gap is still in play to the downside. That started on September 9th. That will take us down to 449.03, and there's another gap to the downside at 435.54. Not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close, just something to be aware of. And then we have another gap to the south side here at roughly 407.36. And as far as this gap, we touched it on Friday the 13th, last week. So notice how we are just retracing our steps here. And this gap closed to the downside at 451.54. And as far as the gap to the north side, this gap will start at 488.32, close out at roughly 496.07. And we could possibly, if we continue to climb upward, continuing the trend, we could hit it on Tuesday, Wednesday, if we continue to go up. But we've got a couple different forces going on here. To the south side, this gap, and to the north side, that gap. But we've already hit resistance. So I anticipate us to probably go down and then go back up for this leg. So I think we'll hit here and then get beaten down and then make our way up. The next one I want to go over is Intel, up 6.36%. Congratulations if you made some money off of that. I talked about this over the weekend for my gap and go trades. We started Monday at 1966 and we are up again 6.36%. 2091 is where we ended. Here are your price targets. We'll start there. Resistance, which we're at basically right now. Many levels of resistance in between 2 standard deviations and -2 standard deviations. So the next level above that will be 21.22 and then roughly 21.44. To the south side, VWAP, middle of the trend there. 20.55, 2012, 1990, and 1967. We've got this open wound, this gash here. 1936, not in the channel, not in the zone. We're moving away from it in this nice strong movement here. And the reason we ran today Intel Amazon Web Services to invest in custom chip designs. Reported late Monday a co-investment in custom chip designs under a multi-year, multi-billion-dollar framework covering product and wafers from Intel. Very nice. So Intel will produce an AI fabric chip for AWS on Intel 18A as part of the expanded partnership. Intel will also produce a custom Xeon 6 chip on Intel 3, building on their partnership under which Intel produces this scalable processor for AWS. It's all Greek to me, doesn't matter. There's all kinds of excuses to make the stock run. It's not like they're making money at this moment, they're just announcing it, so the money hasn't flowed in yet, but running on great news, and that's all we need. Obviously, it can tank on horrible news as well. So, if you're trying to get in and out, today was a great day to get out. This is resistance. And, all right, I gave you the price targets. Now, we've got this gap, 29 bucks, I think. Yep, 29.04. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I did some yard work, and now I'm paying for it because the allergies are starting up again. Ugh, it's nasty. All right, here's your clear buy signal off of the support line, your clear sell signal off of the resistance line, and look, we're starting to roll. I just use this as support and resistance. And that is it for Intel. Let's take a look at the bottom of the board here. I do own Micron. Let's get out of this thing. Technology as well. And we ended the day at 87.18. Let's give you some price targets. Oh, I forgot to mention, with Intel, ignore all the lines. The pink lines are my previous buy-in lines, and the green lines are my previous sell lines. And I meant to buy more Intel, but I didn't get around to it because I've been extremely slammed working on a deck project, a porch project. I was working on an AC project and another thing, and I just have been very busy and then very lazy after that. So, and watching War of Thrones or something like that. Is it War of Thrones? I don't know. But it's been sucking me in. 88.47, 91.96, and you know what happens at resistance, 93.71 and 95.42 to the south side, and that's VWAP right there at 87.25, 84.92, 83.24, and then back down to where I bought this. I think I did sell Micron a long time ago, some other shares I had. And I could have sold out on this one too, 81.48. Look at this, the 52-week high. I've already owned this since this hit. And look what happens. We roll back down, we give it all back. Such is the nature of the beast. So the more I think about it, sometimes I just think, you know what, you reach a certain point, just get rid of everything, dump everything, keep my ETFs only, my Microsoft, my Apple, a couple other ones, and dump everything else that hits a 52-week high. I don't need it. You don't need the stress. Is it going to come back now is what we're all thinking about. See, look at this. We went up. What comes up must come down. What goes down doesn't necessarily go back up again, but sometimes you got to get down to get back up. Now, I have not looked at Micron in a long time, so I will clean this up. That gap closed to the downside at 94.69. This booger touched right here at 97.58, starting to continue to go down. And this one, I guess I just extended it and I hit it at the right spot because I don't think I cleaned it up. $100.67. So these are previous support and resistance lines, so ignore that. Just for giggles, let's look at the daily. and show you what we look like. Old resistance, support resistance, support resistance. Oh, look at this, June 18th when I looked at it, target 240. What are we at here? 164, and then after that, 427.13. See, then you look, you think, oh, deep, out a long ways away, deep into the future, you're going to get to $427. Now, that is worth saving, but I don't know. Saving and keeping. But right now, I feel like I can buy this cheaper. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. I could tell that it was smaller. Okay, so on the daily, apparently I did buy at 64. So I think I have a couple different accounts, and so I forget to mark out where I bought it on one account and then go to the other account. Oh, all right, here. So the 2 standard deviations, -2, takes us to 96.29. I think that's a comfortable spot, and then that will close out this gap. And then, oh, look at this. I haven't cleaned up this, so that's done. 96.65 is no longer a threat to our account. So this touched, it started at 109.29. That is done. Really, I should start up here because then we started to fall. And all we're going to do right now is get back to this level. That's the target. Look, we're making a W right here. And that's all she wrote. Who knows? It's not going to be that easy, but that is a possibility. If you like to play patterns. I don't really play anything other than support and resistance and the RSI. All right. But I kind of know how, to do the other stuff. I just don't. Okay, 112.32. And this one touched, done, 113.45. This one touched right here, that's done. It takes time to go through and clean this. If you become an expert at one ticker, one good quality ticker that's contained within Vanguard's Total Stock Index Fund, the VOO, the Fidelity 500, and tickers in SPY, tickers in the triple Qs, then you can see where direction is headed. And then if you are micromanaging where price falls, I think you could do better. The probability of me doing better if I focus on a handful of tickers versus dozens would be better. That's my opinion. If you're just starting off, just trade only a couple of tickers and be done. Don't spread yourself too thin. Otherwise, you'll have to rely on alerts and always set your stop loss and get out. I'm telling you that right now. If you can't weather the storm and eat the losses, you're going to get eaten alive. All right, what else is going on here? I guess that's it. Yeah. I got to clean this up. This is nasty over here. It's because I have not taken a look at this chart and gone back. Okay, the other one I want to do is final one. Well, Dominion Energy. I'm going to give you the daily time frame since I'm here because it gets wonky when I go back and forth. All right, so to the north side, your 2 standard deviations, or is that, no, that's negative. No, that is 2 standard deviations resistance, okay? 59.55. We're at resistance on the daily. You can expect possibly to go higher and then roll back down, but we had earnings right there, and we've been going all over the place since earnings. And then earnings is coming up again on November 1. All right, so that is the resistance area. Obviously, many levels of resistance, support and resistance in between, and the middle of the trend takes us back down to 52.82. Now, let's go back to the 5-minute because that's where I take my trades on the 5. Like many other people, I am no different. first, I'm going to give you the price targets and then show you what happened to me today. 58.53 is where we ended, up 0.64% only, okay? 58.60 is VWAP, middle of the trend, and resistance from where we are, 58.66, 59.25, 59.55, and roughly 59.84. Support, 58.08, 57.81, and roughly 57.49. So this morning, literally as I was about to change my stop limit, I saw that I got stopped out. I looked at the ticker too late in the day because I woke up late and got started late looking at my account because I forgot to do it the night before because I have all kinds of excuses. So I got stopped out because I set a sell limit. But when I set the sell limit a long time ago, we were way beyond where it was going to take a long time to get to. Well, guess what? It got to it. And at the time, I think I set it to either 2 or 3 standard deviations. And in the end, it stopped me out right here, very close to this line, which is 2 standard deviations. I got stopped out at 58.55. I bought in at 48.42 for a return of 20.92%. So the stock, obviously, right here, we got close to resistance, fell back down. This is support, and what happens? We did go back up again, grinding our way up, fell back down, all right, and then tried to touch this again, didn't quite make it. And now this is support, and then we busted through that. And then this pink line is also support. And now we've got a green candle, but we could go back down to here for another leg up because that is according to the analysts who think the stock will get to $59. But that's a shame. I could have gotten out here. If you don't set your sell limits, I could have just watched it, gotten out, let it grind a little more. So I can't be upset about that one, but ignore all the green lines. Again, those are typically my sell lines. I've changed my color coding for my chart since when I first started. So I've traded this, and then the gaps are also in the green. So I have to figure out which is a gap and which is where I sold out. But all the pink lines are my previous buy lines as well. So I bought here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like I've bought this thing 6 times. And that's it. So I should go back and clean up all these other lines, but you can see we are in an upward channel still for Dominion. And the great news here, it says this ticker is outperforming the broader market, but don't hold your breath. Things can turn on a dime. The RSI still has room to move on the daily. And one more just for giggles, because I don't plan on doing a video tomorrow, or I should say on Tuesday. This is SOFI. This is part of my gap and go trades, but just want to let you know we ended the day at 806, up 4%. Started the week off at 774, and now we're at 806. This is resistance. Ignore the pink lines. Those are my previous buy lines. And I've got to change my sell orders now because it's grinding up. But if I have a sell order, I would now change it. I like to live off the edge a little. And knowing that I don't really want to get rid of a ticker, so I'll set it at 4 standard deviations. And if it falls down, oh well, I've most likely purchased it lower, and hopefully I can still get out with a gain. So first, your price targets. 816, 821, 828, 804, 792. VWAP there is at 789, 786, and 779 there. Support, resistance, sell-off. Support, sell-off. Resistance, buy-in, sell-off, sell-off. sell off, and now we're just grinding sideways. But if we're up here, getting to this line turns into support. But the RSI is telling you something different. It's rolling over already. So check out the different time frames, and that will give you different buy and sell signals. Oh, one more. Let's go to Palantir because I saw that it ran today. Look at this, 36.92, 52-week range. So this was the 92? Yeah. And look at that. We started to roll over off of resistance. So congrats if you made some money there. 36.31. Oops. All right, so we're headed to support down here. First, let me give you some price targets. 37.06, 37.30, and the outer band, maybe possibly for later in the week if we continue to go north, but we're at resistance up here, down to support, and then we've hit support. So I anticipate a bounce there, just looking off of this right now, but everything changes so quickly. VWAP 36.20, 36.10, 35.87, and 35.62. So this is the old target, and we hit that target, $35. I tracked that on May 4th. Option R. Oh, let's just take a look at this on the daily. So look for some more. Okay, we've got a bunch of gaps to the south side, but we are still moving upward on the daily. So now your next target for the daily is going to be 38.94, and then to the south side on the daily, 33.92. Then we've got this open wound and this open wound. Oh no, so that one closed, but we've got this wound here. It's like a canker sore. All right, so that's it. All right, I hope you have a great trading day. And if there's a ticker you want me to go over, please let me know.